weird occurrences for sure over the weekend in Major League Baseball.
So Jesus Sanchez had to come out of the game. And again, right wrist contusion from that fan throwing the baseball. Preliminary x-rays are negative, but again, did have to leave the game yesterday. So just a bizarre situation, but I'm with you. Did not seem like there was any malintent there. By the way, also, we saw the De La Cruz went out for the Reds yesterday, so he's going to get an MRI in his hamstring today. So look for Ella right there for the Reds. That could be a big loss if he's out for any particular length of time. We're back with more VSiN by the books.
In sports betting, the edge doesn't wait. Lines move, limits change, injuries break. Spot Odds gives serious bettors real-time visibility across more than 100 sportsbooks. Track odds, monitor limits, react before the market catches up. Legendary bettor Billy Walters said it best. Spot Odds is hands down the best sports odds service there is today. Visit spotodds.com and use code VSiN for 10% off.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Simon Gaitan. The US has said it struck Iranian military sites over the weekend. Iran has said it has launched retaliatory strikes. The strikes mark the latest escalation as long-running negotiations over a ceasefire failed to make a breakthrough over the weekend. An explosion in a rebel-held village in Myanmar has killed at least 45 people and injured dozens more. This comes as Myanmar's president is visiting India with trade, business and border security at the top of the agenda. It's the first visit to a foreign country by Myanmar's leader since taking office last year. Ishan Gurj tells us more.
President Min Aung Hlaing's 4-day visit to India is being seen as Naypyiddaw's efforts to diversify ties away from China and enhance business relations with New Delhi and ASEAN countries. New Delhi has maintained ties with the military-backed government in Myanmar despite activists accusing the Hlaing government of war crimes, which the latter has denied. During this visit, Hlaing is expected to woo Indian investors and businesses. The shared 1,000-mile border is also up for discussion as he meets India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Activists say the visit could grant Hlaing government legitimacy, though analysts believe New Delhi could keep the focus on connectivity and boosting economic ties.
China's Coast Guard says it's conducted law enforcement patrols in waters east of Taiwan. Laura Westbrook reports from Hong Kong.
China's Coast Guard says a flotilla had carried out the patrol in accordance with the law to the east of Taiwan, though it did not specify where exactly. It called it a necessary action in response to Japan and the Philippines announcing they would start talks on defining the maritime boundary of their exclusive economic zones and continental shelves in accordance with international law. Although both countries did not provide detailed information about the exact area under discussion, China argues that the negotiations involve waters east of Taiwan, which Beijing considers part of its territory. Taiwan's foreign ministry says Beijing has no right to interfere in Taiwan's territorial sovereignty or its maritime rights. China claims most of the South China Sea. That's despite legal precedents and competing claims from countries including Vietnam, the Philippines, Taiwan, and Malaysia.
Political tensions are rising in Hungary after President Tamás Sulyok refused to resign by a deadline set by Prime Minister Peter Magyar. The standoff opens a new chapter in a growing fight between the president and Hungary's new government. Pablo Gutierrez reports from Budapest.
Hungary's President Tamás Sulyok said he will stay in office and argued that leaving now would not resolve the constitutional dispute between the presidency and the government. He said that any change should happen through legal steps and in line with Hungary's constitution. Magyar had given Sulyok until May 30 to step down, saying the president remained tied to the political network of former Prime Minister Viktor Orban and no longer represented national unity.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. Welcome to a Monday, the first day of June for 2026. Tyson is out this morning, but we're going to make it through the hour here today. Lots to talk about. Of course, if you're a Nebraska baseball or softball fan, not a good day for us yesterday. The baseball team saw its season come to an end yesterday with an 11-8 loss to Arizona State in the elimination game, the Lincoln Regional. Meanwhile, the Nebraska softball team's incredible 2026 season came to an end yesterday. They lost to Texas in the elimination game of the NCAA Women's College World Series down in Oklahoma City. So we'll talk about that coming up on the show here today. Get some comments from Huskers softball coach Rhonda Ravel, player Jordy Fromm, and also baseball coach Will Bolt on the show here today. Hastings Sodbusters, they were on the road this weekend. They played down in Salina. They got Friday's game in and lost to the Sliders by the score of 7-6. Saturday's game was postponed by rain. They'll be back in action this week as they will play at Grand Island again on Tuesday. Legion baseball over the weekend. Hastings 5 Points Bank, Hastings Johnson Imperial Homes. Hastings runs all in action over the weekend. The NBA Finals will get underway on Wednesday as New York will play at San Antonio. The Stanley Cup gets underway on Tuesday. Las Vegas is at Carolina. So those are just some of the things we'll be talking about in sports here today on the news scene. The summer road construction season ramps up. We'll have details on that. Construction continues in and around the Hastings area as well. Omaha streetcar project will create some traffic problems in the Omaha Metro here for the next few weeks. Buc-ee's moves closer to Nebraska. Low water levels impacting recreation in the state, and the state parks are ready for the summer season as we move into the month of June here this morning. So all that and more is coming up on the show here today. As we mentioned, Tyson is out this morning. The IT guy, my son, is going to step in here today. I think this is the first time we have worked together on a show, and we're going to do it here on Huddle Up for the first day of June. So welcome into Huddle Up this morning.
Yeah, we've done a few little games here and there where I've done very little color with you. But yeah, it'll be exciting to see what we can do here together.
Yeah, we kind of threw a curveball at us when Tyson stepped away here today, but we got you set up in your studio.
Yeah,
you're like the Eastern studio. We got an Eastern studio and an Eastern studio here this morning, so two different studios going, but glad that you could all join us on Huddle Up for this Tuesday. So anyway, we might as well get started. Husker baseball, Husker softball, a lot of action over the weekend, and when the dust settles, we'll start with baseball. The Nebraska baseball team losing to Arizona State yesterday in the elimination ball game by a score of 11-8. That's a game when Nebraska fell behind by 10 runs. It didn't look good for the Huskers, and then Nebraska made a little bit of a comeback late in the game yesterday. Got within the 3 runs, but couldn't pull off the comeback. So the Huskers' season is over in the Lincoln Regional as they lose to Arizona State yesterday by the score of 11-8.
Yeah, it's just kind of a disappointing. You wake up Monday with you have 2 great teams in the postseason, and it just seems like Nebraska in general just cannot get over the postseason hump anytime we're in the postseason. It was not a good weekend to be a Husker fan.
Yeah, the Husker softball team, then they go out and they lose to Texas in the elimination game of the NCAA Women's College World Series down in Oklahoma City. This game looked like we had it well in hand. Jordy Fromm was in the circle for the Huskers, had a no-hitter going into the sixth inning. She was almost perfect in the circle, went out in the sixth inning, gave up back-to-back singles, and then Texas hit a 3-run homer, and that's all they needed to beat Nebraska yesterday by the score of 3-1. So the Huskers stay in the World Series is over. They finished their season at 52-8. And with that, the career of Jordy Fromm will come to an end for Nebraska. So she took the loss yesterday, had a perfect game going into the sixth inning, and then the wheels kind of fell off the cart, and that's all Texas needed as they beat Nebraska by a score of 3-1. It's probably why Tyson had to take the day off today. Because, yeah.
I was just going to say that. That's probably why Tyson's gone as much as he hates Texas. It had to be Texas that eliminated Nebraska, right? Yeah. Just go ahead.
Yeah, it was Texas. They eliminates Nebraska, and Texas. Tyson can't stand Texas. That's probably why his stomach didn't feel well this morning. That Texas takes care of Nebraska. So both the baseball and softball teams are done for the year. So
yeah, kind of a tale of two cities, right? Like, Jordy was just so off on Saturday. I believe it was Saturday against Alabama. And she just couldn't throw strikes. It was all over the place at the beginning of the game. How about that pitcher for Alabama? She's amazing. I think she threw a complete game, like a one-hitter, I think.
Yeah. Two great pitchers going at it yesterday in the elimination ball game. We'll hear about that when we get to our comments here in a little bit. But, yeah, when you get to this level, you're in postseason play, you're going to see some good pitching. The Nebraska offense wasn't up to par as what we saw during the regular season, but you kind of expect that when you get to postseason play. You're going to see some good pitchers. You're going to have to find ways to scratch out runs, and the Huskers couldn't get the job done in softball as they lose to Texas yesterday by a score of 3-1. We had some teams, baseball-wise, lock up super regionals. These are the teams that won the regionals yesterday in the NCAA baseball tournament, and going to have some new faces, I think, in the super regionals. These are the teams that locked up regional titles yesterday. Cal Poly, Little Rock, North Carolina, Ole Miss, Kansas going to the super regionals for the first time ever. They locked up their regional yesterday. Also winning were Alabama, Texas, Oregon, Georgia, and Mississippi State. The other regionals will be decided today. West Virginia is going to play Kentucky. Troy will take on Florida. Southern Cal against Texas A&M. Auburn will play Milwaukee. And Oklahoma will play Georgia Tech. So all the regional winners will move into the super regionals next week. And then the 8 super regional winners will advance to the College World Series in Omaha. But I know we got some Jayhawk fans in the lobby here this morning. Ryan Martin is going to be grinning ear to ear. The Kansas Jayhawks, they win the regional yesterday, and they will move on to the super regionals for the first time ever. So Cal Poly, Little Rock, North Carolina, Ole Miss, Kansas, Alabama, Texas, Oregon, Georgia, and Mississippi State are in. Then those other games will be decided today. West Virginia and Kentucky, Troy and Florida, USC and Texas A&M, Auburn and Milwaukee, and Oklahoma and Georgia Tech. The other games yesterday in that Lincoln Regional, we had Ole Miss beating Nebraska 6-3. That was the game that was suspended on the Saturday night because of some thunderstorms that moved through the Lincoln area. They had to play that one right off the bat on Sunday, and Ole Miss beat Nebraska 6-3. Had to play the final inning yesterday at noon, and that was the score when play was suspended on a Saturday night, Nebraska couldn't get anything going in the ninth inning, so the Huskers go out and lose to Ole Miss, and then they had to come back and play Arizona State, and Arizona State beat Nebraska 11-8. Ole Miss wrapped up the regional championship last night with a 5-4 win over Arizona State to claim the regional championship. So that's
Ryan's probably, what's the name of that bar that has all the shots that they keep score with down there? Briscoe's or something like that.
Yeah.
He's probably got his seat, staked out, getting ready to go down there maybe.
God, Kansas being in the World Series. Kansas in the World Series.
At least it's not Texas, right?
Well, Texas should still be there.
Yeah. Man.
Pig Suey going home. Oink, oink.
I saw that.
Ryan Martin has just chimed in on our social media sites. Pig Suey going home. Oink, oink. Rock Chalk Jayhawk advancing to the Super Regionals. Yeah, so did you have that in your bingo card here today? Nebraska not going to the Super Regionals, but the Kansas Jayhawks are. So
yeah,
that's what happened in a busy weekend with college baseball and softball over the weekend. If you'd like to chime in with us, I think we can still get you on here today. 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. You can leave us a message on our social media sites as well. We're monitoring those comments as well. So lots of things to talk about here today. A busy, busy weekend of sports activity. NASCAR fans last night, if you were not able to stay up last night and watch the race from Nashville, this is a race that was weather delayed throughout the day. They finally got things started late last night, ran well into the evening, and Denny Hamlin was able to win the race last night at Nashville. He started on the pole because qualifying was wiped out over the weekend, so they had to set things up according to their metric standings. Denny was on the pole, and then he did something stupid right off of the bat. He jumped the gun on the start, so he had to serve a penalty, had to come into the pits, and he went from first to last in the race last night, then came all the way back up through the field and won the race at the end with an exciting duel with Christopher Bell to get to the checkered flag. Christopher Bell finished in second in the race last night. Chase Briscoe was third, followed by Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones. So that's the way NASCAR ended last night. And probably not a lot of folks staying up for that one last night. It was a late one, but Denny Hamlin wins on the NASCAR circuit. They'll move on to Michigan next weekend.
Were you able to stay up and watch the end of that?
I watched the beginning of it, got to about the end of the second stage, and shut her down.
Yeah, it was a late one last night. Very exciting ending. It was a 3 wide going into turn 2.
You're telling me you hit the end of the race?
I did. When you got dad duty with a newborn, you kind of just leave the TV on so you can watch everything going on. You can just kind of doze off and come back in. And yeah, I saw the end of it. 3 wide going into turn 2 with Briscoe and Bell and Hamlin. And then, coming out of turn 2 down the back stretch, it was Bell and Hamlin for the win. But what was Denny, what mindset or zone was he in at the beginning of the race? He was so far behind the start line. Did he think that was the end of the restart zone when he started going, or what? I mean, it was so blatantly obvious that he had to go serve that penalty.
Yeah, right off of the bat, Denny took off and nobody else went with him. I thought, wow, that's either a hell of a jump there, or Denny maybe stretched the rules just a skosh.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. Same way he had to serve the penalty, a drive-through penalty right at the start of the race, so that put him back at the tail end of the field, and back dead-ass last. And then he drove to the front and eventually got the win last night in NASCAR. And again, they'll move on to Michigan this weekend. You're listening to Huddle Up here this morning on Extreme Sports. It is a Monday. It is the first day of June for 2026. Again, Tyson is out today. My son, Shane Will, the IT guy here for Extreme Sports, is stepping in to get us through the morning here today. A couple other things that we'll bring up here today. Something happened in Major League Baseball yesterday. One big inning was more than enough for the New York Yankees, fueled by a fiery pep talk from their team captain, Aaron Judge. The Yankees scored 13 runs in the third inning yesterday. They beat the Athletics by the score of 13-8, finishing one run shy of the highest scoring inning in the storied history of the franchise. The totals in the third inning for the Yankees yesterday were staggering. The Yankees had 11 hits, 4 walks, 4 stolen bases. They sent 18 batters to the plate and faced 75 pitches during their most productive innings since scoring 13 runs in the 8th inning against Tampa Bay back on June the 21st of 2005. It was one shy of the franchise record for an inning set on July the 6th of 1920 in a ball game against the Washington Senators. So, yeah, when the bats get going for the Yankees, they get going, but it was fueled by evidently a pep talk from team captain Aaron Judge, who didn't think the Yankees were focused and playing on their game. Well, the Yanks went out and kicked the Athletics' butt yesterday. They won 13-8, scoring 13 runs in the third inning. So the Yankees are up and rolling.
Kind of reminds me of a Little League game that I watched yesterday on Game Changer, where the Hastings Orioles 10U just stayed batting in the second inning and scored, I believe, 14 runs in the second inning.
Yeah. We'll throw kudos into the Hastings Orioles. That's the team that my grandson plays on, Riken. That's coached by Tim Stroman, our buddy here on the show. They went out and run the Omaha tournament yesterday.
Yeah.
They beat a team that was 12-3, I think, going into the championship ball game. Spanked them.
Yeah, Dennis chiming in saying Orioles went 4-0 in Omaha, outscored opponents 61-7.
Yeah, the Hastings Orioles, I got to see the first 2 games in Omaha. Went down there on Saturday and watched them play. Kicked butt.
Did you go to Oscars?
I went to Hooters. I ended up at Hooters.
Council Bluffs Hooters.
Yeah, because La Vista Hooters is not open anymore. They were selling merchandise left over from the La Vista Hooters at the Council Bluffs Hooters. So, I had some people. I had some people that were fans of the Hastings Orioles that were on hand. Oh, Tim Jones is. Let's see if we can get this on the horn here this morning. Tim Jones is calling in here today. Good morning, Timothy. How are you?
Hey, Mike. Good morning. A little surprise phone call here for you.
Yeah, what's going on? By the way, congratulations to your daughter. She got married over the weekend.
Yes, and for those dads out there listening that have little girls, that it's a milestone in a dad's life to walk that little girl down now and give her away. And this is my second time and last, and it was a great day for sure. So, just wanted to go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just saying we had some severe weather over the weekend. Your guys have stepped in for you, and it really didn't amount to too much, but it's been kind of a hectic couple of days for you.
Yeah, it has, and thank goodness, and as you know, here in this digital space where the world is evolving to faster than anything else, is that I can have my colleagues from anywhere really in the world, but anywhere in the United States fill in for me, and vice versa. So A good friend of mine from Tennessee covered the weather on Saturday. Of course, when I was gone, there was severe weather. But and that's what I want to talk about today is just chances on and off and on. Not only tonight, but the next few days. We're kind of in that summertime pattern now where we get at least some chances for some thunderstorms over the next few days. And tonight will start, and I want to preface by saying it favors the western part of the state, the Panhandle, McCook, and Imperial. And that's fantastic because they're so dry out there. They need every drop of rain they can get. Not to say that we don't need any in south central Nebraska, but we could see some storms with a little bit of wind potential, winds 50, 60 miles per hour through the very latter part of the evening hours to overnight. And there could be some storms evolving or at least lingering by daybreak tomorrow morning. So will they be severe? I don't think so. It looks a little hit or miss. But a lot of folks, they hear thunder overnight when they're sleeping. They immediately think two things. Is this a severe thunderstorm? And is there going to be a tornado? And I think a lot of times people just tend to put those two together. The tornado threat is very low. What exists is in the far western part of the state, northeastern Colorado and southeastern Wyoming. The storms will weaken as they move east throughout the evening to overnight hours, and they may I don't want to say they'll miss us here potentially in the Tri-Cities, but I think that they could be below severe limits as they get to our area. So anything that may hit us tonight will be a little hit or miss. So, but I just want to give that heads up because just want to make sure people know that I'm still around and I haven't ran away.
Tim, what about the rest of the week? I see we do have some chances for rain the rest of the week. What's the week forecast look like?
Well, the better chances, I think, over the next few days will remain to the west. And when I say to the west, North Platte, let's say either side of Highway 83, that's Valentine to North Platte, down to McCook, and that's okay. Any of those areas that get rain from the Sandhills down into northwest Kansas desperately need it. It'll mostly be a wind and hail threat. The better chances will be up in the Dakotas, but there will be a little more of an isolated threat through Nebraska and western Kansas, and that'll shift just slightly east on Wednesday. But again, I think the better chances will remain to our west. We might get that late night to overnight part of the storms as they weaken, and that's just the pattern we're staying in, Mike. So I think, excuse me, I think as we go over the next 2 to 3 days, maybe even through the weekend to the weekend, we'll have some chances for storms that'll initially form in the western part of the state or in the higher elevations of Wyoming and Colorado and move east. I don't see it as a widespread threat for severe weather for us for the rest of the week. But again, there'll be those hit or miss chances. We'll just take that day by day.
Anything severe pops up, Nebraska Weather TV will be all over it. You can go to all your social media aspects to grab the latest from Nebraska Weather TV, and certainly if anything pops up here locally, we'll be along with you with extreme sports coverage as well. So thanks for checking in with us, Tim, and again, congratulations on your wedding over the weekend, and look forward to catch up with you again.
Thanks, Mike. Always a pleasure, and have a great day.
All right, Tim Jones from Nebraska Weather TV checking in with us. Could see some severe weather pop up, and again, anything pops up, we'll certainly let you know. If it threatens our area, we'll be hooked up with Tim and give you all the latest information here on Extreme Sports. Waking up to Extreme Sports Huddle Up for this Monday. Again, Tyson is out today. Shane, the IT guy, my son stepping in Tyson's shoes here this morning. How do they smell? How do Tyson's shoes smell this morning?
He might need to go get some Gold Bond powder and put them in there a little bit. It's either that or it's baby poop around here. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know which. Anyway, we're talking about baseball. The number one seed in the NCAA baseball tournament was UCLA. They were beaten yesterday and eliminated from their regional out in California. St. Mary's beat them yesterday by a score of 6-5. but the Gales couldn't keep the momentum up. They lost to Cal Poly later in the night, sending the Mustangs off to the NCAA Super Regional with a record of 39-22. So as St. Mary's beats UCLA yesterday, the number one seed in the NCAA college baseball tournament, eliminating UCLA. Then St. Mary's went out and lost to Cal Poly later on in the evening. So Cal Poly, as we mentioned, heading into the Super Regionals next week. The Gales are currently sitting at 36 and, or what did I say? It was 39-22 as Cal Poly will move on to the Super Regionals. UCLA posted a 51-6 record heading into the Los Angeles Regional. They won the Big Ten tournament last week with a title game victory over Oregon. But the Bruins, they went 1-2 on their home field. They joined the Vanderbilt Commodores last year as the number one seeds who failed to advance to their respective regional finals. So now it's happened 2 years in a row. Vanderbilt was the first team to not make it to the regional final as a number one seed, and now it's happened in back-to-back years as UCLA unable to advance in their regional final. They lose to St. Mary's yesterday in the NCAA college baseball tournament. So,
Gosh, yeah, you watch that Big Ten tournament, and it was Oregon versus UCLA, and I was blown away by how good UCLA looked. I was like, yep, they're going, and surprise. That's why they played the game, right?
Yeah, St. Mary's. Who had that on their bingo card that St. Mary's would eliminate UCLA from the college baseball tournament? So
if I had it on my bingo card, I would have been up at the Grand Island Casino. But I did not have that on my bingo card.
I don't think anybody probably did. Waking up with Mike Will, Shane Will here this morning. Huddle up on Extreme Sports. It's 7:27 on this Monday.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Well, your news headlines this morning, if you're traveling across Nebraska this week, expect delays. Surprise, surprise. The Nebraska Department of Transportation has numerous construction projects underway across Interstate 80 and several major highways. Drivers will encounter lane restrictions near Lincoln, Omaha, Grand Island, Lexington, North Platte, Ogallala, and Kimball as crews take advantage of summer weather to complete road improvements. State officials are reminding motorists to slow down in work zones and allow extra travel time. Closer to home, construction work remains ongoing along Highway 6 near Hastings. Portions of the corridor around South Wabash Avenue continue to see lane restrictions and closures as improvements move forward. Motorists traveling through the area should watch for changing traffic patterns during the week. Drivers in Omaha will see additional street closures this week as construction continues on the city's streetcar project. Several downtown and midtown streets are expected to be affected as utility work and track preparation move forward. City leaders say the project remains a major investment in transportation and economic development for the metro area. One of the more talked about development stories in the state continues to gain momentum. Plans for Nebraska's first ever Buc-ee's Travel Center moved forward after Gretna city officials approved key zoning and permit requests. The proposed development would include a massive travel center with more than 100 fuel pumps and become one of the largest roadside destinations in the region. While construction is still several years away, the project is expected to bring new jobs and tourism dollars to eastern Nebraska. As drought conditions persist, Nebraska Game and Parks officials are warning boaters and anglers that lower water levels may affect recreational activities this summer. Several lakes and reservoirs across the state are experiencing reduced water levels, creating concerns for boat ramps and access points as the summer recreation season begins. And while water levels remain a concern in some areas, Nebraska state parks are welcoming visitors for the busy summer season. Numerous improvements have recently been completed at state recreation areas across Nebraska, including upgraded campgrounds and new shower facilities, improved accessibility, and expanded camping opportunities. Tourism officials are expecting strong attendance throughout June and July. That's a check on your news headlines here this morning at 7:30 on Extreme Sports. Your sports today is brought to you by Bamboo Mind and Body Spa, America's first 24-hour holistic wellness center, located at 208 South Burlington in Hastings or in Blue Hill. Yeah, doing double duty here today. The Nebraska baseball team saw its season end yesterday with an 11-8 loss to Arizona State in the elimination game of the Lincoln Regional. The Huskers conclude the 2026 campaign with a 43-17 overall record and the 20th regional appearance in program history. The 43 wins are the most since the Big Red went 57-15 in 2005. Judah Worthley went 3 for 5 with a double, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. Gavin Blankowitz allowed 5 runs and 6 hits in 3 innings of work. The Nebraska softball team's incredible 2026 season came to an end yesterday with a 3-1 loss to Texas in the elimination game of the NCAA Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. The Huskers finished the season 52-8. The 52 wins tie a program record for most wins in a single season and made the College World Series for the 8th time. Jordy Fromm took a no-hitter into the 6th inning, but Texas hit back-to-back singles and knocked a 3-run homer to secure the win. Fromm took the loss but struck out 5 batters. She also accounted for the Huskers' only run of the day as she led out the game with a solo home run to center field, her 20th of the season. Hannah Core hit a double, and Casey Hoffman and Della Bacon each added a base hit for the Huskers. Hastings Sodbusters lost to Salina 7-6 on Friday. Saturday's game was postponed by rain. Sodbusters are now 0-3 on the season. Will play at Grand Island on Tuesday. Legion baseball over the weekend. Hastings 5 Points Bank went 1-3 in the Grand Island Hastings tournament. The Chiefs will play host to Columbus on Tuesday. Hastings Johnson Imperial Holmes went 2-2 in the Kearney tournament. The Braves will also play Columbus tomorrow night. We'll have both games tomorrow here on Extreme Sports. The juniors game will be at 5, with the seniors to follow at 7:30. Pre-game coverage begins at 4:45 tomorrow here on Extreme Sports as we begin our exclusive coverage of Legion baseball for another season here on Extreme Sports. Hastings Runza, they went 0-4 over the weekend. They'll play host to Sutton on Wednesday. NBA Finals will get underway on Wednesday as the New York Knicks will play at San Antonio. The Stanley Cup gets underway on Tuesday as Las Vegas is at Carolina. And in NASCAR from over the weekend, in fact, last night, late race, Denny Hamlin won the NASCAR race last night in Nashville. Christopher Bell was a second, followed by Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, and Eric Jones. That's a check on your news and sports headlines here this morning on Extreme Sports. Coming up on 7:34.
As we go through the next few days and into the weekend, we'll enter an unsettled weather pattern with chances for showers and storms over the next few days and carrying into the weekend as well. 77 is the high today on Thursday. A little breezy southeast winds 5 to 15.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. Partly cloudy skies today with highs around 87. Northeasterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for scattered storms tonight, lows level off around 62. Chance for scattered thunderstorms again tomorrow. 80 cloudy. Low 80s Wednesday and Thursday with storms both days. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley.
As you wake up, get going this morning, we've got north winds at 7 miles per hour, clear skies, sunshine this morning, 62 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at Hamilton. The key to a thriving community is a good foundation. And for over 75 years, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been building and supporting Hastings and the surrounding areas, providing the support for new cars to keep you on the road, new homes to give you a place to land, or help with whatever life throws your way. With easy access via online banking or our mobile app, it's never been easier to have your financial dreams at your fingertips. Come see us at Hastings Federal Credit Union to start your banking journey today.
Start your engines, Hastings. It's time for fast, loud Friday nights at Cam Raceway. Cam Raceway is located just east of Hastings on J Street. Catch the adrenaline-pumping action every Friday night through August. Watch stock non-wing micros, restricted micros, junior sprints, cage karts, and more tear up Nebraska's fastest 8-mile dirt track. Gates open at 7. Racing roars to life at 8. Only $10 to get in, and kids 12 and under are free with a paying adult. Cam Raceway, where speed meets dirt and Friday nights come alive. Don't miss it.
Are you listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Monday, the first day of June for 2026? Tyson is out this morning. My son, the IT guy, Shane Will, stepping in. A nice studio, by the way. Nice studio. We get rid of the Christmas tree in the background, and we're blessed by Kansas City Chiefs attire. That's nice.
I tried really hard to decide where I wanted to set up for today's show, and I had a few options, but I knew that this would make a few people happy and mad. So I set it up in front of the Chiefs wall here in the basement. I know Don across the street, he'll be happy to see that. Catching up on some comments. Go ahead.
I was going to say you could set up right beside the baby cradle.
After the show, I got to go back upstairs and do dad duty again.
Yeah. You could do double duty. You could do dad duty, and you could be co-host of the show. That's all right.
Chief wants to know if we should call the show today Will Squared or Will times 2.
Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. The Chief.
I personally like Will Squared. That's my vote.
All right, so Ryan Martin was chiming in earlier as he's all over the Kansas Jayhawks, Rock Chalk Jayhawks advancing to the Super Regionals. Pig Suey going home, oink, oink. A couple of comments from our social media sites here this morning. So, anyway, Nebraska softball. We lost yesterday to Arizona. No, we lost yesterday to Texas in the elimination game of the College World Series down in Oklahoma City. Jordy Fromm had the no-hitter going through 5 innings, got into the 6th inning, gave up a couple of base hits, and then a 3-run dinger. That's all Texas needed. They beat Nebraska by the score of 3-1 yesterday. The Huskers' season is over. They finish at 52-8. The 52 wins ties a program record for the most wins in a single season and made it to the College World Series for the 8th time in the program's history. Obviously, Husker head coach Rhonda Revelle disappointed with the loss. She says it was a tough loss.
I thought it was a hard-fought game. I thought it was really two very good pitchers going at each other and two really good teams. And that was Nebraska softball today, more indicative of what we have played like all season. I've talked about how consistent we've been all season, and you saw that consistency, you saw that fight, you saw that grit. And, you know, there were 6 teams left standing at the start of this day, and everybody's really good, and I couldn't be more proud of our fight today. So tip of the hat to Texas, but I'm so proud of this team.
Rhonda went on to say that 2026 was a special season for the Huskers.
But I will tell you, one of the things that Casey Hoffman said in that room just now is she said, the joy that came back in my life, and she wasn't even talking about softball, through this team, and we made a pact. We read a book this year. It was called The Carpenter. And there are 3 tenets to The Carpenter. And it's about loving and serving and caring for one another. And we didn't talk about softball in that. And when that became our mission, softball and the way we played the game was a byproduct of what we were trying to be and do as human beings with each other, for each other, and everybody that traveled in our path. And this team did a remarkable job of that because of, number one, who they foundationally are at their core, but number 2, of how they nurtured all of those things. And it's an incredible story, and I wish we had a documentary about how to love and serve and care for one another, because it's beautiful. And if that's all we have, if that's all we had, and we weren't even worried about games, we just won the national championship.
All right, that's Rhonda Revelle, and with the loss yesterday, the career of Jordy Fromm also comes to an end.
I would just say the whole journey has been, not what I expected, obviously, starting out at OU and then transferring back home to Nebraska and getting hurt and all of that. But one thing that we talked about in the locker room, somebody said, Jordy, thank you for coming home and changing this program. And I said, I didn't come home and change this program. No one person can do that. It was the girls who were already here that absolutely bought into what this program could do. It was all of the transfers that we had coming in with the goal, knowing what this program could do. And it was everybody the last 3 years putting in their work to make this team what it was this year. And so, God's fingerprints were all over this team. It was all over my story, all over my career. And I do truly believe that the way today ended is a part of that story as well. And the fruits that will come from it later on, are things that will be revealed down the road. It really hurts right now, but just so thankful for the journey and to finish it here with this team.
Yeah, Jordy had the no-hitter going through 5 innings, gives up hit, and a 3-run homer in the 6th inning to Texas yesterday, and that's all the Longhorns needed as they knocked off the Huskers yesterday by the score of 3-1.
Yeah, we were coming through the lineup for the 3rd time there. Good hitters make adjustments, and as a pitcher, you put in a ton of work to execute the perfect pitch every single time, and that just doesn't happen, unfortunately. So They definitely got some momentum, put some good swings on tough pitches, and ultimately one of their most clutch hitters blew it open.
Yeah, so Texas beats Nebraska 3-1 yesterday. In the other game in the College World Series, Texas Tech beat UCLA by the score of 8-7. So at the Women's College World Series for softball today, Texas will play Tennessee, and Alabama will take on Texas Tech. Husker baseball team, they also came up short yesterday. They lost to Arizona State 11-8 in the elimination ball game of the Lincoln Regional. Nebraska fell behind by 10 runs in that ball game yesterday. Yeah, within 3 late in the contest, but they lose to Arizona State by a score of 11-8. The Huskers wrap up the 2026 campaign 43-17, and their 20th regional appearance in program history. The 43 wins are the most since the Big Red went 57-15 in 2005. Heard from Husker head coach Will Bolt yesterday. He says despite the loss, he's proud of his team.
A lot of teams, a lot of players like to pretend that they gave everything they had, and they like to say it. It makes them feel better at the end of the year. It's another thing to go do that and go be about that. And I think that's the biggest compliment you can have as a person, is if somebody tells you that you're about what you say you're about. And that's what these guys have done. And that's what I told them. This last game was like a microcosm of our season. I mean, we get the tying run of the plate, down 10 runs in the middle innings. We defied a lot of odds. I think we overachieved in so many ways, to be honest. And that's not a slight to who we have in the clubhouse or who we have coaching them or anything like that. It's just that's what you want to be on any team, is you want to be a bunch of overachievers, and that's something that we talk about in the very first team meeting of the year. Is let's be overachievers together. And the only way you have that is you got to have these guys. You got to have these guys like that. This is a players program. I want these guys to come in and be themselves and figure out who that is as a young man, because if you just, I don't know, I think if you just get told who you're supposed to be or how you're supposed to act and what you're supposed to do, you never really get to find yourself. And these guys, we give them structure, we put them in position hopefully to succeed, and try to surround them with good young men. And these guys have set the standard, these two guys to my left, and among others as well. But they talked about their faith and the things that they brought culturally to our clubhouse as well. And that's, I can live with that, right? I mean, how these guys perform day in and day out, a lot of things that haven't been done in a long, long time around here. And but nobody can ever say that we didn't fight to the last out.
And Will Bolt went on to say hosting a regional was a big step for the baseball program at Nebraska.
This year, the guys behind closed doors were able to see what a true player-led team looks like. And so the guys that are going to be back understand that that's really where it starts. So, our job as coaches is to go out and try to improve the roster this summer, find the right pieces of the puzzle, because that's the way you keep the momentum. But these guys, again, sometimes you just have to do it to prove that it can happen, and we did that 25 years ago when nobody thought we'd ever have a chance to play in the College World Series at the University of Nebraska. We did it, and it's been 18 years since we hosted a regional. We've got the most wins since we've had since 2005. These guys have laid the groundwork, but it doesn't just stop there, right? And these guys have proven time and time again that the best teams are player-led, and that's what we have to take to next year, is the understanding of the guys in the clubhouse, of what it takes to set the standard every single day, and they've had amazing ambassadors for that.
And Will Bolt says playing in the postseason this year was special for the Huskers.
That was a big point of emphasis for these guys, obviously, over the course of their entire career, was to have a chance to play in the postseason. I wanted them to experience it. I wanted the fans to experience it, because, like I said, it's been 18 long years since it's happened. I've kind of heard from some people some anecdotal stories about when they were young kids, and just thinking that was going to be the thing forever. And, it's a special year when you get a chance to play at home. And, it stinks that we're not still playing. I mean, I'll be honest, tomorrow's not going to be a very fun day, and it's because I don't get to coach these guys anymore, and that's what stinks. But the fans, thank you for showing up and being supportive. These guys gave you a brand of baseball to be proud of.
All right, that's Husker head coach Will Bolt. Also hearing from Rhonda Ravel, Jordy Fromm. So the baseball and the softball seasons come to an end on the same day yesterday. Not a good weekend for Husker fans, but I think we can be proud of what we put on the field this year, not only with the softball team making it to the College World Series, but the baseball team with 43 wins this year. So unfortunately, it comes to an end on the same day yesterday. Not a good Sunday for Husker fans yesterday.
Nope. I actually heard a national guy, I can't remember who it was, but they said the University of Nebraska is now an everything school, minus football right now, obviously. But you think about the run that the University of Nebraska had this year, we had volleyball, baseball, softball, all going, basketball on both men's and women's side. It was a good year for the University of Nebraska. If we could just get over that postseason hump and maybe lock down one of these championships sometime soon would be nice.
Yeah, maybe get the football program going. That'd be nice too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let the Nebraska football talk now, since we're all done with what is this, spring sports? So let's go.
Yeah, it's June. We flipped the calendar to June today, June the 1st. So anyway,
we'll be getting practice reports and everything else coming out.
Oh yeah, people will be getting hyped up, drinking the Roulade again, putting us into the championship games. It's that time of the year, folks. Anyway, the winners again in regionals yesterday for baseball. These teams advancing to the Super Regionals next week. Cal Poly, Little Rock, North Carolina, Ole Miss, Kansas, Alabama, Texas, Oregon, Georgia, and Mississippi State. They'll play in the Super Regionals next week. The other regionals will be decided today. West Virginia and Kentucky, Troy and Florida, USC, Texas A&M, Auburn and Milwaukee, and Oklahoma and Georgia Tech. Again, the winners tonight in those games will advance to the Super Regionals that get underway next week. And then the 8 Super Regional winners will advance to the College World Series in Omaha. As far as softball is concerned, they're down to Texas and Tennessee today, and Alabama and Texas Tech. So if you're still looking for some baseball and softball action, it'll be all over the networks here today. So anyway, waking up to huddle up on Extreme Sports for this Monday. Tyson is out today. Shane is sitting in for him. It's now 7:53 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Well, in the news headlines, despite some recent rainfall in eastern portions of the state, drought remains the biggest concern. Heading into the month of June, nearly the entire state continues to experience some level of drought, with portions of western Nebraska now classified in severe to exceptional drought. Farmers, ranchers, and water managers are watching conditions closely as summer approaches. State climatologists say more widespread rainfall will be needed to significantly improve the situation. The ongoing drought is taking a major toll on Nebraska's winter wheat crop. Agricultural experts report some producers are abandoning fields that simply won't produce enough to justify harvesting. Many ranchers are also dealing with stressed pasture conditions and rising feed concerns as dry weather persists across much of the state. The combination of drought, dry vegetation, and windy conditions continues to create wildlife concerns across Nebraska. State officials are encouraging residents to use caution with outdoor burning and equipment that could create sparks. Earlier this spring, Nebraska experienced some of the largest wildfires in state history, and emergency managers say conditions remain favorable for additional fire activity throughout the summer. Nebraska lawmakers have officially wrapped up the 2026 legislative session. The session was dominated by budget discussions as lawmakers worked through a significant budget shortfall, also debating tax policy, education funding, and health care issues. Governor Jim Pillen issued several vetoes during the final days of the session, all of which were ultimately sustained by the legislature before adjournments. And while November is still months away, Nebraska's political landscape is already beginning to take shape. Several legislative races attracted significant fundraising ahead of the primary election cycle, and attention is beginning to shift toward both statewide races and legislative contests that could shape the future direction of the state of Nebraska. To check on your news headlines of sports today is brought to you by Bamboo Mind and Body Spa of Hastings and Blue Hill, your 24-hour wellness center where members can access a variety of amenities on their own time. Hastings Sodbusters lost to Salina 7-6 on Friday. Saturday's game postponed by rain. Sodbusters are now 0-3 on the season. They'll play at Grand Island on Tuesday. Legion baseball over the weekend. Hastings 5 Points Bank went 1-3 in the Grand Island Hastings tournament. The Chiefs will play host to Columbus on Tuesday. Hastings Johnson Imperial Homes went 2-2 in the Kearney tournament. The Braves will also play host to Columbus tomorrow night. We'll have both games here on Extreme Sports as we begin our exclusive coverage of Legion baseball for the summer of 2026. Juniors game tomorrow night will be at 5 with the seniors to follow at 7:30. Pre-game coverage begins at 4:45 tomorrow from Duncan. Hastings Runza went 0-4 over the weekend. They'll play host to Sutton on Wednesday. The NBA Finals will get underway on Wednesday as the New York Knicks will play at San Antonio. And the Stanley Cup will get underway on Tuesday as Las Vegas is at Carolina. That's a check in your sports headlines here this morning. It's now 7:57 on Extreme Sports.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times today, with daytime highs approaching 87. Winds out of the northeast, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies tonight, chance for scattered storms, lows level off around 62. Chance for scattered storms again tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 80. 81 Wednesday with a chance for scattered storms. 79 Thursday, storms continue. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frombley.
North winds this morning at 7 miles per hour. Clear skies. It is 62 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Looking for the perfect spot before or after the game? Head to Miscue's Sports Bar and Grill in Hastings. Choose from your favorite sandwich or build your own burger or chicken sandwich just the way you like it. Your choice of cheese, sauces, and all your favorite toppings. Craving wings? Choose from over 20 sauces and rubs that bring the flavor every time. Grab an appetizer, catch the game on the big screens, or challenge your friends to a game of pool or darts. There's always something to do. And don't forget the daily lunch specials. Miscue's Sports Bar and Grill, 316 South Elm. Great food, great games, and the perfect hangout in Hastings.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high speed, dirt slinging, adrenaline pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class wing beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up, because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track.
All right, you're listening to Huddle Up here today. Will Squared as we get you started on this Monday, the first day of June. Again, we'll start our exclusive coverage of Legion Baseball again tomorrow night. That's for the 2026 summer. We'll have Hastings 5 Points Bank and Hastings Johnson Imperial Homes taking on Columbus tomorrow night out at Duncan. It'll be a 5 o'clock start for the juniors game, 7:30 for the seniors. We'll have both games for you right here on Extreme Sports. Our coverage begins at 4:45 tomorrow afternoon. Then on Wednesday, North Platte will be in town to take on Hastings. Same story. The juniors game will be at 5 on Wednesday with the seniors at 7:30. Again, we'll have both games on Wednesday. So 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday. And we'll have all 4 games right here on your exclusive home for Legion Baseball for the 2026 season, Extreme Sports. So
broadcast schedule picking up again, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. We had a little bit of a break between the high school season and the Legion Baseball because we couldn't get either team into the state high school baseball championships. So give us like an extra week off to get ready for Legion Baseball. So we'll have that beginning tomorrow night. We'll let you know about Tyson tomorrow.
Hopefully he's getting better.
He's feeling better. Yeah, maybe we'll give him a day to recoup after the Huskers lost to Texas yesterday.
Yeah.
In the softball elimination game. I think that's what put him over the top yesterday. He called me late yesterday afternoon and said he was not feeling well. Texas is going to beat Nebraska. He said he was sick to his stomach.
That's what happens when you lose to Texas. You get a little queasy.
Yeah, it was not a good day. So, hey, thanks for stepping in with us. Now we can
I
pull this
gotta
off.
Go back upstairs and resume dad duty.
Time to feed the baby now?
That or diaper change, I'm sure, is needed.
Hey, thanks for stepping in with us again. If you'd
Absolutely.
like to listen to the show again, you can go to our social media sites and download the podcast and listen to the show again. We heard from Rhonda Ravel, Jordy Fromm. Also heard from Will Bolt today. Tim Jones called us in the first half hour of the show to talk about the possibility of some severe weather moving into the area tonight. So if you want to listen to the show again, you can. Just download the podcast from my social media sites. Thanks for joining us today. We'll do it again tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. Huddle up here on Extreme Sports. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.